Hi, I'm Anthony Tordella, and I'll be presenting the Bank of New York Mellon, Moving Towards the Future of Financial Services. The Bank of New York Mellon was originally founded by Alexander Hamilton in 1784 as the Bank of New York. Currently, the Bank of New York Mellon competes in the financial services industry, which includes custody administration and investment management. Custody means that they hold a client's assets either physically or electronically so that they are not lost or stolen. Administration means that if there are dividend or interest payments or transaction settlements, these are handled by the business. Investment management means that you're coming up with an investment strategy. Currently, the Bank of New York Mellon has $45 trillion in assets under custody and administration. They also have $2.32 trillion in assets under management. The bank is also dependent upon economic environment as well as interest rates. As they go lower, the bank makes less money. As they go higher, they can keep more money and pay out less to depositors. Moving on to look at the competition for the Bank of New York Mellon. One is named State Street Corporation. It's headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts, and they have assets under custody and administration of $42.6 trillion and assets under management of $3.9 trillion. The other is named Northern Trust Corporation. It's headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. They have assets under custody and administration of $15.7271 trillion, as well as assets under management of $1.5394 trillion. Both of these are chosen because they operate in the same space, and they also do not have other banking services like commercial banking or investment banking as a part of their operations. Moving on to Porter's 5 forces, we can see that the risk of new entrants is low. This is because it would take years and a lot of money for a new entrant to build up trillions of dollars in assets from their clients. Moving on to the bargaining power of buyers, the clients in this space are very large that BNY Mellon and State Street and Northern Trust compete for. They are very powerful in this industry, and so they have a lot of power to move from one to the other. And that's because a lot of the products are standardized and there's very little cost in switching. Looking at the threat of substitutes, this is high, mainly because of cryptocurrency and the potential for this to someday become a substitute for what the custody business is. Bargaining power of suppliers is low because there's very little products that are actually purchased by the bank itself. There's really only computer equipment, building infrastructure. Other than that, it's mostly digital. And then looking at the rivalry among existing firms, this is high, much because of the same reason for the buyers. The products are standardized, and so there's a race to the bottom to be the most operationally efficient. So this creates high rivalry in space. Looking at the industry attractiveness, we can understand that the regulations are high across the world for banks and investment firms. There's also high investments required to go into the core platforms across the industry just to remain competitive. And this only leads to single-digit growth across the industry, even though many companies are investing up to 1/3 of their IT budget into their core platforms. And then most of this value is passed on to the clients. So these companies don't increase their margins, they just remain competitive and keep the clients that they currently have. Looking at the mission statement and ESG at BNY Mellon, They state that they are relentlessly client-focused. This seems to be their mission statement. Also, they are very focused on the environmental, social, and governance space, and they've won awards as a leading ESG company. This is important because many investors want to invest in ESG companies for their investments as well as working with them. Moving on to the financial performance of these three companies, we can see that in 2020, BNY Mellon had the best performance of the three in cost of goods sold, sales, general and administrative, return on revenue, and working capital turnover. This shows that there's some inefficiency at BNY Mellon, putting its ROIC as the lowest of the three. Looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats at BNY Mellon, a strength is the size of their assets under custody and administration, and they can utilize this to their advantage. They can overcome the threats to their business by capturing data and providing it to their clients, since they have significant amounts of transactions on their systems every day. Some weaknesses, they need to create automated technology to replace manual tasks. This is an opportunity for them to increase that operational efficiency. And then a threat to them where they have a weakness is to gain experience in digital assets and blockchain technology. BNY Mellon's business structure is they have an investment services branch that includes asset servicing, Pershing, issuer services, treasury services, and clearance and collateral management. Under the investment and wealth management wing, they have investment management and wealth management. This structure is highly specialized, highly formalized, and highly centralized with a tall hierarchy. There are many teams underneath those business lines that create this tall structure. So to summarize the analysis, BNY Mellon competes in a highly competitive industry with low growth. They're dependent on the interest rates to generate more revenue. Their ROIC is lower than their competitors. Their ESG-centric and client-focused culture can create opportunities for them. They have a very mechanistic structure, and they need to take advantage of their strengths and opportunities. So from the SWOT analysis, we can determine that the issue is that 72% of BNY Mellon clients are interested in digital assets, although there is a lot of uncertainty of regulation around them, and BNY Mellon has very little experience with blockchain technology and digital assets. My recommendation is that BNY Mellon create a joint venture with Coinbase. Coinbase is a company that launched in 2012, and they IPO'd in April 14th, 2021. They are the first publicly traded cryptocurrency exchange in the United States. They would give BNY Mellon access to a cryptocurrency platform to offer their current and new clients. It would differentiate BNY Mellon a bit from its competitors, at least in the short term, and it would create some sort of exit barriers for their clients where they would not be able to jump to another company as easily. Coinbase also would not be able to partner with another global custody bank as part of the joint venture. So then this would reduce risk for BNY Mellon because they would not be so involved in the cryptocurrency space. It would be another entity of theirs would be participating in that, and it would also reduce the time that they have to spend researching and developing their own in-house solutions to the cryptocurrency assets. Coinbase would also benefit in this case because they would gain access to a large domestic and international client base of institutional investors. Coinbase can also offer equity and debt instruments through BNY Mellon. And they would have a very strong ally as a U.S. bank with a banking charter. Also, as part of Coinbase's mission is to expand economic freedom to the world. And this is a very client-centric idea, which fits very nicely with the client-centric focus that BNY Mellon has. That's my presentation. These are my resources. Thank you for watching.